What's the matter, Kakarot?
Good morning and welcome back to another Sunday morning with the Blurred Church of Anime. I am Black Star, your preacher, your teacher, cult leader, whatever you want to call me. And I have to say, it is Easter Sunday, y'all. It is Easter Sunday, and I'm going to have to be in my Christianity bag today because, holiday that it is. No, seriously, it has been a wild week. I have been dealing with a viral infection, so I'm going to try to get through this whole thing without coughing. Keep your fingers crossed. If there's some weird cuts, it's probably because I started coughing like I'm a 30-year smoker trying to cough up a lung. It has not been great. And it's really sucky when you're sick and you have a million things to do, but alas, that is life. I hope y'all had a much better week. I hope sickness did not deal with you this week or you did not deal with sickness at all. If you did, or this past week was like, you know what we said about that? F last week. This is a new week. I am already starting to feel better from a Sunday to Sunday. Like, waha. Like, I know it's not COVID. I know it's not the flu. I got tested for all that good jazz, but it was still kicking my butt, right? But like I said today, it is Easter Sunday, and I grew up as a Black Baptist girl, so there are a lot of holding meanings of Easter Sunday. Although we weren't allowed to call it Easter Sunday, it was called Resurrection Sunday because this is the day where we celebrate Jesus dying on the cross and getting up and resurrecting from the grave, the whole bang. And I'm sorry for my non-Christian people out there. We about to get into it a little bit. And this will be a little bit different from some. Don't worry, we're still gonna talk about anime. I promise you, we will talk about anime. But I wanted to bring, like, my mind has been on this for a little bit, and I think it's really interesting, especially growing up as a Black Baptist. Like, you got to kill Jesus and bring him out the tomb for any sermon to end. Like, every Sunday, Jesus dies and comes out the tombs. It is a major part of being Black and Christian, especially Black Baptist. Uh, so I grew up on that whole thing. I also realized that even though I am no longer a Christian, I am a big fan of Jesus. Big fan of Jesus. Divinity school taught me, if one thing I came out of divinity school is like I always would be a fan of Jesus. What I realized, and I think part of the reason I've kind of like really moved away from more traditional beliefs is, although a fan of Jesus and what Jesus does, I really don't care about the Christology. Like, I like Jesus, not Christ. Not I don't like Christ, but like I care more about Jesus than I care about the Christ part of Jesus Christ. Like, I don't care about the mythology of Jesus being God, three in one, the whole thing. It's very hokey to me. Jesus does a lot of things, really cool things while he's alive. I don't need him to die and get resurrected for it to be like he's worth studying. He's worth following, which is not the case for a lot of Black or white or whatever Christians. Like, the Christology, especially in some denominations, has to be there. Like, you gotta believe that Jesus is God and blah blah blah. Um, and that is really like been interesting because I've had friends who also did school with me, and their Christology is very very low. And I'm like, okay, so he died, he got resurrection. Mm, okay, but he was doing all this other good stuff like when he was alive. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And people are like, no, no, no. That's great and all, but you gotta also remember he died for our sins. Okay, sure, but like, does he get resurrected? Like, the resurrection has, like, I don't even mind Jesus dying for our sins. It's the whole he got resurrected, Son of God, blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, yada yada yada, all that stuff. And so I got into this idea a while ago, and I actually kind of wrote a paper about it, about Christ-like figures, or I like to say Jesus-like figures, because like the Christology isn't quite there in Japanese anime. What I like to call the Japanese Jesus. And I found in a few animes that I was studying that there is like this Jesus-like figure, that there is this self-actualized, really important figure that like really spurs the moment on, the most inspiring, the one who has the best words, doing pretty much the good news, like spreading good news. And what I found really interesting about these characters is that they were not the main characters. And I was like, huh, why are these Japanese Jesus not the main characters like in Christianity, where like Jesus is the main focus. Like we're following Jesus, and then you got all the disciples and blah 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 blah. And then like really leaning into one of my favorite um examples of this. And I was like, it's really important for Jesus to not be the main character, because we Christians, whoever are following Jesus, are supposed to be the main characters. Like, I feel like in this Japanese sense, again, I'm putting a lot, this is just, again, my headcanon, not saying that any Japanese writers or mangas have said this or whatever, but like these characters and their function, I mean, this all kind of like knowing, like bringing this, ushering this new world and things, are really pushing and leading the main character to really like take it on for the inevitable deaths. It reminds me of, what Jesus says in the Gospels, like, greater things than this shall you do. Like, Jesus always pointing to disciples, like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing these things, but like, eventually y'all gonna have to take up the mantle and do this stuff yourself. Like, Jesus is 4 books of the Bible. There's like 60 other, y'all. Even in the New Testament. Well, more than 60, but like even in the New Testament, there's more. And so we're looking and seeing what the disciples do. And it's like, yes, greater things than this shall you do. You should be able to do what I do plus more. And that is embodied in one of my favorite animes, one of my favorite characters, Kamina, Tingle Topping, Gurren Lagann. We gonna talk about it. Because I think I've done a little bit of a message this before. Even in Divinity School, I kind of brought this up. In my Japanese Jesus kind of like paper, I mentioned a couple of characters and how they don't die and resurrect, but they essentially serve the same role as Jesus, like the saving grace, but for a main character. They're used to spur the main character on. Shinji, I think, is one of my exceptions to this rule, because Shinji is the main character, but we had we have to give a lot of grace to all the various symbolisms that are in Neon Genesis. Neon Genesis. But in Gurren Lagann, there is a couple of things that really stand out to me. One, the show starts out telling you that Simone is the main character. That this is a story of a boy who grows to be a man. Amazing man, by that way. But Simone is this little digger, this underground colony, just very good at digging, follows instructions, doesn't want much in life. What makes him stand out a little bit is just not just because he's the best digger, but he has this really good relationship with Kamina. Kamina is like the resident bad boy in the colony. He's the one he's this charismatic leader. He believes that that humans should be out on the surface. His goal is to get to the surface and see what's out there and get everybody out of these underground dwellings. Kamina has his great backing. He does all these schemes. He has his whole disciples, and Simone is part of them. And Simone is like, "This is my big bro, Aniki. He looks after me. He cares about me." And Simone is able to get wrapped up in what Kamina wants and what Kamina truly believes to do. It is a great friendship. When you meet Kamina, you're like, "Why are you not the main character?" Uh, and it just continues to go on. Like, every time you see it, Kamina is constantly like the one driving like the show forward. He is constantly the one saying, "We got to do this thing. We got to do this thing. This is where like we're gonna fight this thing." Like he really like pulls the characters along, and like the first half of the series. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And then you get to the point, like, then he also drops one of the coldest lines, I think. I heard this in anime, and I was like, I need this on a t-shirt. I eventually did put it on, like, a bunch of stuff. But Kamina drops this line. They're in the midst of a battle, trying to get up to the surface, and Simone has found this kind of like Mecca, and he has the key, a drill for the Mecca. And Kamina, again, being one of the best, manliest, coolest, just great characters, it doesn't try to take the Mecca and fight himself. He's not trying to be like, I will do this, but I'll show you what a great guy I am. He's like, no, Simone, you found it. You have the key. This is yours. You should fight. Let's go. Like, let's do it. And Simone's like, no, 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 you do it. Like, I'm not ready. I, I just found it. You were the hero. You do it. And Kamina's like, no, this is you. This is made for you. You can do it. And Simone's like, I really can't do it. And then Kamina drops the line, bruh. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you. Bruh. My people with low self esteem. You need a friend like Kamina to be like, okay, you don't believe in yourself? Believe in the me that believes in you. Because I know you believe in me. So believe in me that believes in you. Listen, I ran. Listen, I paused my anime right there and ran around the room like, hallelujah. It was such a great line. And yeah, sure enough, Simone is able to pilot the mecha, do all these things. Kamina never takes away from him. Kamina's like, I'm gonna get my own mecha. Like you do your thing. We got to the surface. Let's go. And that's how he is. Like he is the driving force behind Team Gurren Lagann getting together. Everyone they meet and who kind of like joins in, it is by the sheer personality of Kamina. His like understanding, like this is what we need to do for human race. This is how we're gonna like defeat the beast. This is how we're gonna do all these things. Like he is the driving force of this team. He's fully self-actualized. He gets to do the things he said he wants to do. He sets up the team, and then the anime does one of the most devastating things. They kill him off. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Yes, they kill Kamina, and he goes out like a G. Like you already know, Kamina goes out like a G, but they kill off Kamina, and you're sitting there watching it for the first time. Like, how can this be? You're gonna bring him back. This like he is a driving force, but the show is reminding you that Kamina is not the main character. Simone is. Simone has to live without Kamina. Like, and there's a few episodes where they're dealing extensively with the grief and trying to figure out where to move on. But again, Simone is the main character. Kamina, the Jesus figure of this whole show, is not. And while his absence is definitely felt throughout the show, his presence is never gone. And I think that's what I really liked about how they set up Kamina as a Jesus like figure for this is that like he doesn't get resurrected, he doesn't come back, he's not all knowing, all powerful, but the mythos of Kamina continues on throughout the show. No matter how capable Simone comes, when Simone becomes the big hero, when Simone is leading the humans into this new wonderful time and in all the other things I have to face. Like Gurren Lagann is just a fantastic show on its own. Like it is from the same team that gave us Kill la Kill, Madoka Magica. Like they take these genres and they bang it out. It is amazing. And Gurren Lagann is a mecha show that understands mecha and like turns it on its head. It's about how everything is to scale. It is such a oh my gosh, I could do a whole Bible study on just Gurren Lagann, and I may never rule it out. But like his presence is so important, not again just for Simone, but the whole team Gurren Lagann um, force, like all the people who come and join and help liberate the humans from the underground, and I really like that because I think again for me especially in the whole Christianity scheme, Jesus is an amazing figure. The things he does in the four gospels, the things he says, the way he lives his life, I think is so much more important than the death. Like Jesus be dropping bangers of lines. He does so many, and not just even the miracles, but the way he interacts with people, the way he inspires people, the way he changes things up, the way he says, "No, we're gonna do this." Like, okay, the powers that be tell us we have to be like this. We're gonna circumvent this. Like this is what I look for when I'm looking for my Christ, my Jesus like figures. Because again, Christ like is all about the holiness and being the main character, and you gotta like depend on this one thing. Okay, yeah. I have main character syndrome. I believe that I am the main character in my own story, as you are. And then if you're going to have a figure who is like, hey, we should really support we should like get support and be pushed forward, you need a commoner. Like you need somebody who's saying, I believe in you. And if you can't believe in yourself right now, believe in me who believes in you for you to do greater things than I did. Because let's be honest, Simone as the hero of the story does greater things than what Kamina could even get to because of his untimely death. And again, that death is super important. It's a pivotal point of the story. It is because if Kamina is there, he does become the main character. He sets the focus away from the person who has the drive, who has to be the one to lead the rest of the world into this revolution. And I think it's the same for all the characters who are part of Team Gurren Lagann. Like they have their respective, roles, and they're kind of like the disciples here. And maybe they may not always agree with Simone and what he's trying to do, but they are all the main characters in their own stories of how they're going to push forward and lead their people, lead the humans into this better future. And I think that's amazing. I really do. Like, again, go watch Gurren Lagann. It is, if you have not seen it, it is not a waste of your time at all. Um, I know it's like one of those big things. People, I try to like not spoil the Kamina piece because my folk, anybody who I've ever had watch Gurren Lagann, I get them super invested, and they're like Kamina, Kamina, Kamina. I'm like, yeah, just keep watching, just keep watching. They're like, what? I'm like, yes, I know, I know. And they're like, I don't know, watch. No, you got to keep watching because I promise you, Simone becomes top tier. He really does. He really, really does. Um, and I think that's what we need to do. We have to stop leaning, and I will put this critique on a lot of Christian dominations and Christians in general. Stop leaning on Jesus being the main figure and being like, I need them to do all the stuff because you're being like Simone. Like, here's the key. I need you to drive the Mecca. I'm just here to cheer you on, do all the work for me. And it's like, no, Jesus could pilot with us, like, but you still got to do the work. You still, you are still the main character in this. You can't always be relying on this crutch figure to get you out all the bad things, even though they've been the driving force in your life. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people, especially as we end up in the situation of where the world is right now. It's wild to me that folk are like, well, these are the end times and we just gotta let things go to the crap and I'm gonna be fine. Like, nah, you should be actively working to make things better. Are you not a main character? Okay. Like, that's not Christ like. Just putting that out there. Folk are like, well, this is just the time's coming what it is. I'm safe and I'm secure. Not what Kamina would want you to do. So sorry. Stop sitting on the sideline. You out here being like, yeah, I'm gonna stay underground because that's what I've been told to do. Like, it's wild to me when people take the Christology as meaning I don't have to do anything. Greater things than this shall you do. Like, this is something I live kind of by if I am still stuck on the Bible and biblical scriptures and things. Like, I I can't believe I've seen it all my life. But, like, is that the life you want to live when you just sit on your laurels and be like, well, Jesus did it? Jesus paid it all. Okay, and now you got to start making some money yourself. Okay, he paid this bill, but other bills are coming due. They are. They really, really are. And while I would love to be as manly as Kamina and have like just be able to do all the things that he does and the way he brings in all of the team and pulls together people, like, again, community. But if I'm a Simone and I gotta take what has already been given to me and then lead them and then like defeat the big bads, okay. This is a story about a boy or girl or a person who is a youth who doesn't know their own power right now, but they struggle until they understand it and they find what they're fighting for. And they struggle through the pain of loss, they struggle through the pain of insecurity, and then they realize that Kamina is the model. Jesus is the model, not the end all be all. Because in the end, Simone, Simone, this little boy becomes just as manly as this one right here. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, this is in a transformation because again, you had a model, the model left, and you had to pick up the mantle and do it your own way while still looking at the model. That's it. That is what it is. That's my Japanese Jesus right there. I mean, other shows have done something similar. And the Desco, I think it's the first show where like I see a main character, not a main character, but I see a side character who I think is super cool, and they're like nixed it real fast. But it's again for the main character to grow, for the main character to mythicize and to be able to say that this is my model of who I want to be, and then push them to be the hero they're supposed to be. Like again, I have main character syndrome. I do know that if this was a Gundam, I would probably die in order to spur the the main characters. Nobody's winning a war over the age of 19 in a Gundam universe. That's fair. But until I know that I'm in a Gundam universe, I am going to live like I'm the main character, and I will take those models that showed me how I should live my life, and I'm going to be that hero that those other people couldn't be because they had to die for me to move up and be a better person. That's what I'm taking from it. I hope you took that from it as well. Um, I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. I hope next week is amazing for you. As we finally get into spring, I feel like spring is trying to show its hand very, very slowly, and it makes me happy. I love warm weather, and I just cannot wait for it to happen. And then there's another thing about spring is the renewal. Yeah, it's the renewal. And don't come at me about this being Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, whatever. I do know that it's a pagan holiday, overlay with the Christian, whatever. I get it. Just it is what it is. I know. I'm just not trying to get into that and make this even longer than it needs to be. But yeah, go out, have some fun, do your egg hunts, do all the things, enjoy your Easter, enjoy your week, and I will catch you in the next one. All right? Till next week, bye.
The Blurred Church of Anime podcast is produced by Black Star, aka Lauren Tillman, written by Lauren Tillman, and hosted by Lauren Tillman. Music created by EL47.